Time to look at the winners and the losers of Winter Anime 2023. Alright, we got The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. Oh my god, just kiss already! This is a slow burn type of anime that will really depend on the emotional payoff at the end, which makes it very hard to rate in a tier list. The characters are really well written and work together perfectly. I especially love every interaction involving his best friend and his overly bubbly girlfriend. Yes, Alec, I will take ominous foreshadowing of tragic backstory for 500. Don't get me wrong, the story works for what it is, and we get just enough will they won't they energy to keep me eternally frustrated. I guess my only major problem is that the characters just look too basic. I mean, I'm convinced you can place them in the background of any anime and you would never notice. All in all, it's a strong romance that's gonna feel satisfying to complete if they stick the landing, so I would put this as a solid B. Alright, I believe this next one is Ayakashi Triangle. Peak anime trash for the whole family to enjoy. Okay, how does my man disrespect the thighs like that? Already knocks the show down a little for dissing the squish. Moving on, it's just an ecchi anime series. It's got wacky antics and a healthy amount of fan service. The animation is surprisingly good and the action sequences aren't bad either. Was pleasantly surprised until it got to the gender swap. Look, if you like these type of series, then I'm happy for you. I feel like only a handful of modern gender swap stories are done right, and the rest are kind of just used for cheap laughs. And let's be honest, we're all just waiting for the uncensored version to come out, if it ever does. I have no desire to watch this, but at the same time, it's not the worst one I've ever seen, so I'm just gonna put it on D, teetering into trash. This one is The Giant Beasts of Ars. Huh. Where have I seen man versus giant 30-foot monsters before? There is a lot going on here, but basically we get Monster Hunter with a little more fantasy thrown in. The mystery elements are there, character backgrounds seem to be tied to titles, and I like most of the main characters introduced. And hey, at least they kept the tradition of having cat people around. My god, she says meow in almost every single line. The animation has its moments, but overall don't expect much of a quality run. And apparently they can perform fusion dances and go Super Saiyan, which, you know, good for you. I think this series is a mixed bag of good things and bad things, and that's all I can really say about it. It's definitely not the worst anime this season, but I'm not really invested in watching it, so I'm gonna put it as like a low tier C. Oh boy, here we go. We got Buddy Daddies. I now realize they had to throw Buddy into the title because if this was called Assassin Daddies, we would have gone feral. I mean, it's gay spy family. Of course this is gonna be good. Although it does separate itself a bit more by making the spy aspect much more realistic. I mean, these people are straight up getting murdered. And our two zaddies are very likable, while our adorable little Miri is up for debate. Ah, who am I kidding? I would do anything for this family. The wholesome moments are very real and overwhelming, but they never really feel forced in the story. I guess the only negative is its Cliff Notes comparison to Spy Family, which I think is fair because it's as obvious as Anya's love for peanuts, but once you start watching the show, it really becomes its own. I will say that it'll be too much for some people though. Alright, the Spy Family clone is going into the B tier. Alright, Campfire Cooking in Another World. I can't believe they made Amazon Prime an isekai power. Honestly, this show isn't half bad. We get a bland MC who gets to order all of his food through online shopping, and it's kind of fun. I also find it hilarious that our guy looks so basic, but they put all the budget into making these side characters look like this. Also, man is stat boosting people like they're going into a boss raid. Every meal he makes gives people temporary boosts as if they are in a video game. It's silly, but I kind of like it. That's really its ceiling, though. It doesn't do action particularly well, and side characters are all just kind of boring. It's just a very easy and fun anime to digest. I'm hoping that it gets beyond just its concept and characters the more it goes on, but for now, I would say it's like a solid C. I'm not ready to put it in B tier. I think it's a solid C. Oh man, chilling in my 30s or something. I'm a little scared that I'm almost 30 and that passes as anime now. The fact that this gimmick is just a normal man getting fired is honestly insulting. The entire first episode just feels like a slap to the face of any anime enjoyer. They took every trope at its base level and said, yeah, no, that's good. Somehow demons and humans look exactly the same. This man is on X Games mode, and oh yeah, Boobalicious has her boobs just boobing. The whole thing just feels like a lack of effort, like they didn't even try, and I would not waste your time, and I would put this in the trash tier. It's garbage. Ah yes, Delusioned Adventurers and the way too long title to read. What is the budget on this show? 17 nickels? I mean, look at this. Huh? I don't know how you let this stuff fly, to be quite honest. Okay, maybe I'm being too harsh on it. It's supposed to be a tragic fantasy about people recovering from their faith lost in humanity. I mean, we got a man who is dumped by his girlfriend, a girl who is dumped by her fiance, a girl who is dumped by her boyfriend, and a man who is accused of sexual assault. Oh, one of these is like way worse than the others. This plot is just nonsense. The entire premise is that these characters are so shaken by their tragic backstories that they could never trust again. But like, it doesn't even feel like that. It feels like they're best buddies and they have minor secrets that they don't want to share with the rest of the group. The action is stiff, the world building has no rules, and frankly, the only thing that I like is the character designs. I don't know why I'm even watching this, to be honest. Maybe it's like copium and I'm hoping that it'll like miraculously somehow turn out to be good, but no, I can't even defend this. This is trash, man. Endo and Kobayashi live. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for him. This is a surprisingly fun twist to the I'm a Villainess genre, as basically you have Joe Buck and Tony Romo up in the booth telling you how cute your girl looks. The two main characters providing color commentary for the prince leads to some funny interaction and does open up some interesting ways the plot could go. At the end of the day, though, it is still an Automata game story. And my God, will somebody help my boy out? The romance aspect between Endo and Kobayashi is painful sometimes. It's the childhood friend swooning over everything while the girl has already placed him in the friend zone. Plus, I'm not that big of a tsundere fan, so the other romance doesn't really do it for me either. Honestly, a lot of people are going to enjoy this series, and I think it does have some legs, but it does not appeal to the anime fan in me, and so I'm just going to put it at C tier. Farming life in another world. How are we still getting farming simulators in 2023? So a dude is reincarnated with an OP skill, starts to make a new life for himself, and then starts gathering followers to make a village and oh, I get it. This is just reincarnated as a slime. Yeah, look, there's Shion in a maid outfit. There's Miriam turned into an elf, and Ranga is just a dog now. And hold up, is that a squirrel? My man does not discriminate in the harem. After establishing that that is end goals, I'd hate to admit it, but I slightly enjoyed this. I mean, this is clearly just someone playing Valheim, but with cheats enabled. It doesn't even try to do anything original, and yet it fills the tractor-shaped hole in my heart. Also, again, squirrel waifu. I'm placing it here, and I'm moving on. Oh yeah, my boy Handyman Saitou. Welcome to sketch comedy for isekai fans. The biggest complaint from any anime watcher regarding this genre is originality. We hear it all the time. Why do we keep getting these every season? What's the gimmick this time? And what are with these long-ass titles? Well, I'm here to say that all of you guys can suck it because this series is actually awesome. The entire premise of this show is to showcase the entertainment of a fantasy world. It has our main group, sure, but they're only like one part of the overarching story. We get cutaways and gags to random things happening, explanations to questions we never asked, and doing so while subtly making the threads between them connect. It is literally just exploring the tropes of fantasy and isekai anime we love and making fun of them. I genuinely enjoy every character, and every passing joke adds something new to the story. Oh yeah, and this anime is like gorgeous for no reason. Stop being butthurt because it's not like a traditional isekai, okay? Treat it more like a comedy focused on world building and it becomes so much better. For me, this is like A-tier stuff, man. Like, it's so good. I love it. All right, I believe this one is high card. Welcome to Kingsman the Anime, people. Easily the most original series you will find this season, as we have the deck of many things giving everyone superpowers. These powers can range from unlimited ammo, manifesting literally anything out of money, and marbles. Honestly, half the fun of this series is just getting to see which powers will be used next, and the action is pretty solid for it. Also, being a spy battle mage comes with some sweet backing tracks. I mean, the music fits perfectly with the setting. It is always so fun to listen to. The only problem is, I don't like any of the characters. The MC is kind of annoying, and the supporting cast is all kind of just meh so far. I'm not even exaggerating, I'm 4 episodes in, and I can't even remember a single character's name. We got Immortal Man, Katana Girl, Shooty Shooty Bang Bang, Scrooge McDuck, and Old Guy. Just Old Guy. Everything else about it is pretty solid. And the title is under 3 syllables. I didn't even think that was possible nowadays. But you know what? They found a way. So I'm going to go with a B. I don't know if it's... I'm teetering to a C, but for now I'm going to put it at a B. Oh yeah, this is the Iceblade Sorcerer. At this point, maybe the most vanilla anime you could write. Bland-looking protagonist is secretly the most powerful mage and creates a harem of women on his first day of school. But despite all of that, this show cracks me up. Man is absolutely jacked for no reason. The harem gets equal screen time, and Chad Master Iceblade does not hold back. This man has loudly spoken riz. At the end of the day, though, it has lackluster action scenes, predictable plot, and boring-ass villains. I mean, the angry noble school bully thing is like the dumbest trope in the world to me. I mean, I guess that's what happens when your expectations are on the floor, but like, yeah, I've been enjoying this garbage. I'm just gonna put it at D tier and just kind of move on with my life. Inukai-san's dog. I can't even like this ironically. It is that bad. I'm just gonna say my one joke and then be on my way. What does Inukai-san and Denji from Chainsaw Man have in common? They both got that dog in them. Okay, I'm not really proud of myself for that one. I'm putting it in trash tier. Kubo won't let me be invisible. Kubo faces are this year's Komi faces. I think the biggest thing this show does is the cutaway gags. Its art style feels absolutely perfect for those spaced out, comedic pauses, smug-faced moments that romance anime is known for. I mean, just look at this little guy go. Oh my god, how could anyone hate this? This is amazing. But it is also a double-edged sword, since sometimes the normal design of characters can just look like straight-up bug people. But dare I say, this may be the worst romance anime of this season. And I actually mean that as a compliment because this is how many great series we are getting this season. Because Kubo is adorable, it's fun, it's unique, and I enjoy the hell out of it. The only weak spot I notice is really its sound design. I sometimes feel like I'm listening to a DJ with a sound effects board. Does that derail the entire series? No, not at all. I'm just kind of a sound guy. It does keep getting better with each new character introduced, especially the little brother and the big sister. So for now, I'm going to place it at B, but I expect it to go up to A by the end of the series. NieR Automata. Who said they were allowed to be this good looking? I mean, 2B, I understand she is that waifu, but like, was no one gonna tell me about 9S? Man, is every K-pop boy mashed into one, straight gorgeous. Now, the show is scratching that much-needed sci-fi anime itch. The classic robots gaining feelings and sentience vibe is there, and from my understanding, the story is based on branching paths with different endings, so could be a really cool story. Now, the animation it does look goofy at times. Look, I really don't care about CGI as much as the other person. It does not bother me, but like, yeah, it's there. Also, I have never played the game, so my personal connection to the series is as low as it can be. Real fans can enjoy the hell out of this, and anime onlys can get a nice blindfolded waifu to root for. Honestly, minus a point for using the title pun on episode 1, that's low-hanging fruit, guys. But as far as the show goes, I feel like it's like a solid C, and they've delayed it, so who knows what it's going to turn into. Ah, yes, ONIMAI, you are now my sister. Are we really hiding it at this point? Like, come on, guys. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, because this anime is gorgeous. Like, a gender swap lolly anime should not have this level of quality. And I'm really starting to hate this subgenre of anime, but there are some wholesome, cute moments hidden inside this hidden agenda anime. Also, why is there an uncensored version? Oh, it's literally just this one scene of her putting on a bra? Why? I'm just at a point in my life where having middle school girls talk about masturbation really isn't on my list of anime wants. And the final cherry on top is that they sometimes use peephole camera angles because, yeah, of course they would. If you watch this for the fun and wholesome moments, then you got nothing to worry about. I like them too, but this series, I gotta put it in D tier, man. Like, ugh. All right, this is Reborn to Master the Blade, I think. It's as if they looked at every Reincarnation anime and said, yeah, I'll do that. I have no other way of describing it other than safe. It's a magical world with an OP reincarnation who is slightly goofy and tries to blend in. Although, something about watching a baby take out a whole ass dragon is pretty hilarious to witness. What I'm saying is that this series is wholly dependent on who is watching it. If this is your first go around, then yeah, you're gonna find this as a cute and charming fantasy to watch in between your binge sessions. But if you have a top 10 list of favorite magical girls, then you're gonna have a bad time. This isn't even the best fantasy anime with a female lead this season, but you know what? Hey, you do you. I'm gonna put it as a C tier because it's not terrible. It's really not. This one is Revengers. Huh. I wonder what this anime's about. I don't know why, but I just don't like this one. Maybe it's just the feudal setting of samurais or just the cliche plotline, but I was not feeling it. The action and mystery elements seem solid. The characters also have some mystic-like powers to make them stand out, but in the end, no, I'm good. Look, it's not a knock on the show. It might be just what you're looking for, but between the setting, story, and plot, it just was not for me, so I'm gonna have to put it into D tier. I think this one is saving up 80,000 gold. Obligatory isekai number 287 that will inevitably be forgotten. I am an isekai fan, so I have to watch these most of the time, but I can confidently say you can skip this one. The gimmick isn't that interesting to me with her traveling between worlds at will, and I don't like the cutaways with her older brother. And I feel like Gordon Ramsay watching this anime. No, it's blonde. It's blonde. Could this be good? Sure, it could be. Is it going to be good? No, it won't. If you need something to cleanse your palate and just shut your brain off for a couple of hours, then this will be totally fine, but it's going into D where it belongs. Spy Classroom. Welcome to Waifu Suicide Squad. This is an interesting concept because you basically have Assassination Classroom with just a slightly more serious tone. I say slightly because they throw all that plot and pacing out the window in favor of, oh look, it's spies doing spy things. I mean, why build up this training against the greatest spy in the world to only be done with it 2 episodes later? And I want to like this series, I really do, but they're making it hard for me. It's a shame because even though I didn't love everything, I thought the characters were okay and the humor was fun. But why are they attempting something called an impossible mission 2 episodes into the series? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It just feels weird to call your anime Spy Classroom and then not have them in a classroom. I don't know. It's entertaining, but like in a dumb way. I would put it at C, teetering into D, but I still feel like it's entertaining. All right, Reincarnation of the Strongest Exorcist. Just read the title. Almost every part of this series made me roll my eyes, from the simple plot to the insufferable jealous older brother. This is a perfect example of knowing exactly how everything is going to play out before they even have to say it. And if I was forced to say one thing positive, the fox spirit he summoned was pretty cute. Other than that, let me know if it gets better later on. I'm putting it into D. All right, Sugar Apple Daddy Fairy. Don't be intimidated, Squidward. Just picture him in his underwear.
Oh no, he's hot!
For what it's worth, this seems like a good show. It has bright and clean animation and an interesting fantasy world to build on. But we can all see where this is going, right? I mean, heavy mom foreshadowing, hot man and strong independent woman, forbidden relationships? Yeah, it's there. This show is as subtle as upskirt shots in High School DxD. Please stop making everything so painfully obvious. I mean, I could see Jonas being a douche from a mile away. That doesn't really take away from the fact that the episodes are still really solid. It's just, it treats you like a little kid. We love a good shoujo, but this one feels like it's bashing it into my head over and over again. So I'm going to put it into C tier. Maybe it's B by the end of the series. I don't know, but that's where it stands for me. All right, what is this one? The Tales of Outcasts, I think. You know, it's like a furry version of Ancient Magus Bride or the Book of Vanitas. Demon furries really set your expectations low, but at the end of the first episode, I liked both of our main characters. Think of like a solid father-daughter story with some decent world-building elements. And will I keep watching this? No. Even though I can't point to one specific thing in particular, I just don't have any interest in this series. I know people get mad when they hear that, but you know, sometimes it's okay to not like something because of a gut feeling. I'm only human and I can't watch everything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and place this into the D tier because, meh. All right, this is Kaina of the Great Snow Sea. This world gives me so much Made in Abyss vibes. Well, hopefully without the horrific imagery and existential dread. That being said, the world is the only interesting part about this. And before you can even get to that point, you have to get past the animation style. Don't get me wrong, this is actually on the better side of full CGI work, but most people just flat out don't like it. Usually when an anime looks like this, it needs its story to carry it going forward, and this show has that potential for it. I just don't think they'll be able to execute. I mean, frozen hellscape only escapable by holes in the atmosphere via balloons? Pretty cool. Except the short time spent with the characters make them seem sort of bland and uninspired. And if they are bland, then your story won't carry and you're left with meh. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it, or maybe I've grown bitter in my elder years, but to me, this feels like a D tier. Ice Guy and his cool female colleague. Welcome to Mythical Creatures Wotakoi. I wasn't sure at first since both characters have emotionless exteriors, so it was like watching two wheat thin crackers try to flirt with each other. But I was quickly proven wrong with the Iceman's adorable inner monologues and Ice Powers reacting to his emotions. They have become one of my favorite couples this season. And who decided to put all of the budget into eye movements? I mean, it's such a small choice in comparison to everything else, but like, why does this look so good? Other than that, I feel like the world is really unique and has a chance to introduce more interesting characters. The problem is, most people won't like the main couple enough and will grow pretty tired of the snowstorm emotions gag after a few episodes. I really enjoy it, and I feel like it has a ton of room to improve, so I'm going to put it at B tier with the rest of the romance, fully expecting it to end in A. Alright, magical revolution of the really long title. Alright, hear me out. Licorice Recoil with magic. Okay, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but this royal magical lesbian affair is easily my favorite series so far. It honestly just does everything good. Animation, action, art style, voice acting, the whole shebang. But what has been really amazing so far is the characters. Our main girl is an absolute delight, and every side character that interacts with her is just perfect. Throw in a cute love interest, the sassiest of maids, and morally good anime fathers? What? But for real, I can't stop laughing every time the father is on screen with her. Basically, we get a great MC stuck in a very straightforward story. And that's really the only thing holding it back. It's a generic plot of sibling rivalry and secret noble treachery that, quite honestly, is only there to push the story forward. I would much rather spend time enjoying the adorable interactions of our couple. I'm just a sucker for magical stories in general, so throwing in amazing humor and characters into the mix? Yeah, it's gonna be my favorite, and I'm going full biased here. This is an S tier. It is the best anime of this season, and I'm sticking to that. And then we get to Tomo-chan as a girl? Year of the Tomboy. I'm glad 2023 is the year that people start recognizing the supremacy of short-haired muscular girls who just want to be loved. And this show is hilarious. Sure, Tomo routinely gets flustered by any best friend moves June throws at her, but it doesn't last very long as we do see actual progression towards, oh shit, I think she's got boobs. It doesn't feel like a cheap repetition of its premise, and it's the great characters that are able to accomplish this. Now, the problem is, Tomo is the third best girl in her own series. My god, are Carol and Misuzu the two best sidekicks in romance anime right now. Carol is just the right amount of stupid to push everyone's buttons, and yet I have not got annoyed by her once. And Misuzu is just the real star of the show because she has that I don't have time for this shit type of attitude. She's just like me. She's just like me for real. Any scene containing all three of them is just the perfect storm of cute, hilarious antics that you need in your life. You know, I'll be honest. I really want to put this at S tier, but you know what? That's exactly what I'm gonna do because tomboys are the future and Tomo is leading the charge. Year of the Tomboy. All right. Then we got Trigun. It's a retelling of one of the best anime ever. What do you want from me? Animation looks good, characters are fun, and as a first-time watcher, this is great. I know that it is different for all of you loyal Vash fans out there, but I think it has a chance to bring a lot to the franchise as a whole. I thought CGI has looked good since Beastars, but now we have another entry to point out its validity. I would put this at a solid B. All right, now real quick, I'm going to go through my sequels. All right, first up, we got Bofuri. I know it's going to hurt a lot of people, but I'm placing it in as C. These first few episodes, they haven't done anything new with her character. It's just been more of what we got at the end of season 1. So I was just expecting more, you know? Tokyo Revengers. Now, for some reason, I just don't want to watch Tokyo Revengers. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's bad. I have no desire to watch this season for whatever reason, so I'm going to put it into C tier. Danmachi. I think this is part 2 of Danmachi. I'm going to put it at B. I've always said for the longest time that they should have been in the dungeon the entire time. That's where the most interesting things happen, and lo and behold, we're getting one of the best seasons, so I'm putting it into B tier. Nagatoro. Season 2 of Nagatoro. B tier. It's Nagatoro. I mean, it's still good. It's still funny. We're starting to see more progression. It's great. And lastly, I would get executed if I didn't talk about Vinland Saga. I'm still on season 1, so I can't quite put it into S tier. This is easily the best anime just going on right now of the season. But since I haven't watched any of it, I'm just going to put it A tier so people don't get mad at me on the internet. And here is my finished tier list from top to bottom. These are what I'm sticking with. You can get mad at me in the comments if you want. In fact, tell me which ones I got wrong. I would love to hear where you put each of your anime for this winter season. Man, I don't know if I was just being extra harsh this time around, but there's a lot of lower tier anime in here now. Like, I didn't expect them to be so kind of just like bottom heavy, but maybe I'm just getting cynical, you know? Maybe I gotta reevaluate some of these anime.